Hi there. Welcome back to Tarot by Janine and
Deep Dive Fridays!
Yay!
Yay!
Okay, we got a really interesting one. In case you're new, Ashley is my co-host on Deep Dive Fridays. Ashley, you want to set it up for us?
Let's figure out what happens to these dark souls, or these souls, period, who have been taken over when we pass on.
Right. When they leave the earth plane.
When they leave the earth plane. Is there some kind of judgment?
Yeah.
I want to know what happens.
Because we know the greater universal love is a forgiving entity, energy, or it certainly feels like it to me. But are those souls that get involved in dark cult activities? I mean, I guess it would be their ego that gets involved. And then their soul somehow have to go along with what their ego chooses to do here on the earth plane. Now, that's just the way I sort of see it. I don't know if that's how everybody sees it. But I feel like our egos can sometimes take the reins down here.
For sure.
And I think it's really important that we don't let that happen. But obviously, people that have got involved in the cult, what we call the dark cult, of course, there's other words for it. But so what the heck happens when they pass over, those people that have done those deeds and have got on board with this cult and for fame and money and
notoriety? Who knows what they sign on for, right? Do they sign on for forever being on Earth? Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, is that what they believe in?
Well, they want to live forever, probably because they fear. Because if you think about it, I guess unconsciously they would know they might be facing some kind of judgment. So let's set it up with what happens upon them leaving the earth plane. So their initial leaving, do they reflect or have any awareness?
Like, do they know if they've done anything bad? Like, do they have to reflect on this?
I heard Rihanna talking once, and honestly, it sounded like she thought she'd hit the jackpot and finally got it right getting involved in the cult. It was unbelievable. She was instructing them in who they should really be praying to. And obviously, she doesn't think she's doing anything wrong. Okay, so let's start with when they just first leave. Is there any knowing at that point? Okay, I think right up until they leave, they often do not reflect. Okay, so that whole cult isn't exactly introspective and reflective.
Nope, they think they're perfect.
Okay, so most of them seem to think, okay, they're like, this is like they leave, even like thinking they've had a victorious life. I mean, because they had riches and fame or whatever.
Right.
Okay, but this card in the middle here is then things get really hard. So we've got a 9 and then a 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so now things get really hard. They get whisked away,
right?
Energetically, taken to a whole other galaxy. It looks like,
right? Definitely somewhere different than what we would consider heaven.
Yeah, interesting. Let's keep looking here. Oh, they go for a really, really long time. And it looks like they're being worked on. So they have a lot of work to do. So spirit world or whatever's whisked them off, whatever kind of knowing has whisked them away to this other galaxy, sort of to the great oneness or
the creator. Okay, so now they've joined some kind of energy, okay, where they have to do a whole lot of really hard work. Let's lay out some more cards on what does that work look like. Okay.
So what does the work look like?
Sounds great.
Yeah. So they're aware, it looks like, but shortly after.
Yeah, right? Shortly after.
They get a glimpse.
Probably after their human body disappears.
Wow. Okay. So they have to look at every decision they consciously made.
Yep.
That was for their own personal gain at the expense of others. So, and how that affected. So from their perspective, okay, they have to look at how did it affect the person and or people that they affected.
Yep.
How did those people's lives, what happened in those people's lives?
Oh my God.
Okay. I also get those people line up as soul connected. So they make soul contracts with those people to do good in other lifetimes for them. So they have to make up to everybody.
They switch. They have to make up to everybody they did to. So that could be literally thousands and thousands of lifetimes just to cover all the people.
Right? If you think about it.
Right? Because you got to think about the parents of, so if they
affected the parents.
Yeah, it'll affect everybody in the family. It's unbelievable how many people that might affect.
Right?
Right.
So that's lifetimes of karmic retribution right there.
Yeah. But they have to go through everything, it looks like, with a fine-tooth comb.
Everything.
And look over it from a different perspective. And it feels like with the help of off-world or otherworldly energies. And it's very stressful. It looks very stressful. Okay. It looks very stressful. Yeah. I feel like they even have to feel
the emotions.
Yeah. The feelings that they sort of imposed on others.
Wow.
Because don't forget, this bunch, you know, they think they're doing everybody a favor. And they also think we're just as good as cattle. It looks like it takes a long
time. That's a lot of work.
They have to go through every dysfunctional thing they did.
Wow.
And they have to go over and over it. I feel like they'll even get stuck on something until they get how that wasn't cool.
Yeah. Definite form of judgment.
And they get put over and over in these positions. How the other so they flip it. I feel like it's a flip. And so now they have to feel the feelings of the other person affected.
In every instance.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So that's like, that could take eternity just to do all of that.
Oh, for sure.
Wow. So they're going to be busy for quite a while here. What else did we want to look at?
Do we want to see if they get a chance to reincarnate?
Do they get a chance to reincarnate on Earth, you mean?
On Earth.
Because this feels like it's happening.
On a different planet.
On a different planet. Or in a different whole galaxy, I guess.
Whole different galaxy.
Yeah. Okay, so do they get to reincarnate onto Earth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
After they do the work.
All that stuff.
Okay. Okay, so yes, they do. But they're going to incarnate. So once they're deemed to have done the work.
Yeah.
Okay, so this could take lifetimes or like our version of lifetimes, because time's different.
Time
obviously.
is definitely different.
So a really long time to go through every little action they did and all their choices. Okay, then they get born into one of the families, so a soul family of people. So now they have a whole. So who knows what could go on in that lifetime, because everybody's got karma. Yeah. So maybe their mother was one of the people. So now their mother has this unconscious animosity towards them.
Or their sisters, their brothers, aunts, uncles, grandparents, right?
In any given situation, like when I look at any of my difficult situations, when it really it's really difficult to work with somebody, like I've had bosses like that, you've got kind of karmic stuff right there. Like, so you get born into these karmic situations. Sometimes even, I even had a dream that my mother was an inquisitioner. Okay. I was trying to understand our past lives, and I woke up in a fright because I realized my mother was an inquisitioner in a past life and had signed papers to have me taken off the earth plane.
Wow.
Not in a pleasant way. Yeah. And this lifetime, we're actually doing really good.
Yeah, you are.
But the beginning was pretty rough. We didn't always do so good. But you know what I mean? Like, you can always see
the underlying
difficulties, right? Mm-hmm. So this lifetime, she had to be my mother, okay? And even though we think so different, okay, she's still really into the church, and she's in her 80s. She still thinks the Pope's a good person. Right. I love my mom, though. So we had to learn to love each other, and that's part of the karma. So they're going to have to do that, but even in more difficult situations. So they go one at a time here. They go back into situations with people from their past that they hurt.
To play out that good karma.
To play out the karma and to get it to a balance. So that could even take lifetimes just with one of them. For
sure.
Yeah. So this is there's a lot of time here going on. Yeah. It also looks like it's overseen.
Pretty heavy too, right?
Overseen by, and every little move they're making is being watched by the off-worlders.
Right? Make sure you're not doing anything you shouldn't be doing.
Because I feel like now that'll just add to, you'll go back, retraining, So it feels like you're put in the very opposite situation
that you're used
so now you're at the hands of people that could potentially be tempted to. Okay, so now you have to navigate. So you get put on all the sides of what you put other people through.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of does make sense considering there's so much out there of people in these like situations. Not that I say they deserve it or anything, but it makes sense as to maybe they were part of the cult in multiple lifetimes. Yeah. And now they're paying back that karma.
Yeah. I think in order for us to become really evolved souls, we would have had to try everything, good, bad, and ugly.
Oh, for sure.
And just to be compassionate towards others. We would have been on all the sides. Like we've tried everything.
Have to see everything.
We've given our truth up for fame and fortune. To some degree, I bet we've tried and dabbled in everything. You know, it just makes sense. How else should we look at this?
Do we want to look at those clones?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So apparently a lot of these people sign off and allow themselves to be cloned. Multiple clones, apparently. Okay. So we want to know if the clone's doing things.
Does the clone have a part of their soul? Does this soul have to pay for the clone's actions?
Okay.
Do they feel the clone's actions? Like, is it a double thing or is it two different people?
Right. Is the clone totally separate?
They have a soul. Maybe it's just like a carbon copy or something.
That is so strange, though. So then what are they going to do? Like, how do they get them to operate in the world and be believable?
Like, I have no idea how this works. So
okay, so that's a whole nother deep dive. I think we're going to stick to if you're cloned and you're part of the club and you got yourself cloned, which apparently they all do.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't agree to it, apparently. Are you responsible soulfully?
For their karma.
Yeah, for what they're doing karmically. Because the clones are busy. Because think about what the gates have been up to.
Right.
Think about, and we know that those were step-ins from the original gates. Like there's so many weird situations. So we're getting that if you choose to be part of the cloning program and it's not done to you, unbeknownst to you. Okay, that's one thing. And you absolutely are responsible, right? Because some of these people, they get themselves cloned so they can appear to the public always looking young and perfect.
Yeah.
But there's so many that look like half their age.
Right. They just went to a spa.
And what did Kevin Hart say? He said he's been cloned.
Right. And there's so many celebrities that admit it. And they all joke about it. But they're being serious.
Yeah. So they're consciously allowing that to happen. So if you consciously chose and you went ahead with that kind of cloning because you wanted to, because of your vanity, okay, and you wanted even a more perfect version of yourself. Okay, yes, you're absolutely. But I feel like if you actually didn't know it was happening and you got cloned, I think then it's a different thing. So it's all about how much of a participant, how much did you agree to it?
Right.
So there's a lot about agreements in the other world, it seems, or this
agreements, free will
realm. Yeah. And that's why we adhere to those things too. And that's why the cult members have to at least make some kind of an attempt, or they do this half-hearted attempt at kind of getting our agreement to all of this stuff. Right? They do it through trickery. So I don't think it really counts, but they seem to think it counts, right?
Oh,
so they have to go with the rules, though. Once they're gone off the earth plane, the rules definitely make sense here, and they set in.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So it would depend on the degree of and how much say you had in the
Fascinating.
Cloning. Yeah, it is fascinating. Thank you so much for taking this deep dive with us. And do like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already.